App manager. It was just the in I was looking for. I had that joke pre-written.
Okay, Matt, I see you live on the screen. So let me see if I can.
I see Dave on here.
You see Dave? Okay, let me make sure I have. I see you live on the screen. I'm not to repeat.
I think you just have to change the setting at the bottom middle that changes the viewing.
Right.
You should be good to go.
Okay. There we go. So now I see all three. Is that right? You guys see that?
I got it. Yeah. I've got current speaker and active participants, so I can see all three of you.
Okay. There we go. So now let me see if I am. I'm going to go over to Facebook itself and see if we're broadcasting.
Yep, I see you.
All right. Beautiful. Let me see.
I'm going to pull it up on Facebook and phone as well.
Right.
It's there. We're good to go.
Okay. I'm going to play a little quick intro music, and then we'll get going. All right, here we go. Hey, welcome everyone. This is the very first FIBI for Investors by Investors live broadcast chat. I have two of the four partners, or actually three partners, well, three of the four partners here. Myself, Ella San Jose, David Coe, and Matthew Owens. And they're joining us here today to, number one, test our new platform here, and also to kind of give a lead into our holiday networking party, which is coming up on December 7th. Now, where is that going to be, David?
It's actually going to be in Long Beach at the Grand Center, which is where Matt runs his Long Beach group. We're in the same room, right, Matt?
Yeah, we are. It's actually a pretty good sized room. We get the inside and the outside. So it's at the Long Beach Grand off of Willow. So should be a really, really good event, I think, coming up. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, perfect. So I was chatting with David earlier, and you guys had a regular meetup last night on Thursday, and it sounded really interesting to me, and David said you had a really good turnout. So, Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it was about last night and maybe some highlights.
Okay. So, I mean, Dave and I we run the Manhattan Beach and the Long Beach group, and I run the Long Beach group, and we do a little bit different of a format where we kind of just have a formal discussion about real estate, and the whole purpose being to just try to help everyone in the room just to gain knowledge and develop resources with each other and things like that. And we touched on a number of topics, from self-directed IRA investing, from how to fix and flip houses, what someone's starting point should be when they're just starting out in real estate, and kind of how to goal set and things like that in different ways when it comes to the different strategies that you can deploy when you're investing in real estate. So we had a really good turnout, a lot of Q&A. We talked about multifamily value add opportunities and strategies there, legal structures and how to raise capital. So it was pretty interesting, topic points where we kind of covered a ton of different topics.
Wow,
I think everybody in the room got a lot of info out of it.
That's amazing. You had all these. I counted minimum of like 6 or 7 topics you guys talked about. Was that kind of the premise of the meeting? Was just kind of everything real estate?
Well,
Yeah,
actually, yeah. So one of the things that we did, Ellis, was that we went around the room before the meeting. We had everyone kind of get up, introduce themselves, and then ask them what are some of the things that they were most curious about. So we actually created the agenda live, in the room. We kind of touched on a bunch of that stuff. I say we did a bit of a 20-minute deep dive on probably 5 or 6 of those topics.
Okay.
But we tried to customize the meeting to the people in the room. Those were the things that they most wanted to hear about.
Wow, what an amazing opportunity. So they just kind of came with whatever they were interested in, and to your best of your knowledge with the people in the room, plus your expertise, you just kind of had a rap session about it. That's awesome.
Yeah, so what Matt and I did at the beginning is we just talked about some of the things that we're doing as investors and as real estate people, specifically where we overlap. Him and
Right.
I overlap on a lot of different projects that he's involved in and I'm involved in, one of which being we run a real estate investment club. So
Uh-huh.
we kind of talked about our background, things that we felt we were
Yeah.
qualified to give investment or give advice in, and then let them pick the things that they thought were most interesting and poignant.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. It sounds like how long have you guys been running your meetups prospectively? You've run the Long Beach, Matt, and then David, you've done the South Bay. Is that right?
Well, Matt and I do the South Bay
Oh,
together.
you did that together. Okay.
Yeah, you've been running Long Beach for what, close to 6 or 7 years now, isn't it?
Actually, 2008 is when I
Oh my gosh, are you
started.
serious? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's great.
it was a while, and we started off with 6 people at a realtor office, in like a small realtor office in like a conference room, and it's grown substantially, and since we've been doing it consistently every month for that long, obviously, we got a lot of people that love to come in and add value in different ways, and from higher end investors to the newbie that is just getting started and trying to learn.
Right,
So,
right. That's amazing. You've been doing it for that long. I don't know if people understand how much effort and energy goes into making sure you produce a meeting and you make sure all the T's are crossed, I's are dotted, I's are dotted, et cetera, and you're having topical information and bringing people in and checking everybody in. So to do it for that long is very commendable. And I know, David, you do a wonderful job down in the South Bay as well. I've been to a couple of meetings down there. So I just want to say to the audience that I started FIBI with Jeremy Roll, but these two guys are really the lifeblood now because they have injected such enthusiasm and integrity and just so much energy and enthusiasm that's really the success of FIBI is because of these two guys going forward. So we're at the end of the year. It's the last month. It's December 1st, first day of the month, but it's the last month of the year. David, what do you think are some of the highlights that you can kind of off the top of your head about maybe some of the guests you've had or events that you've had in FIBA for the last year?
Yeah, first of all, yeah, thank you for the kind words. And honestly, I think the platform that you and Jeremy started on this brand is part of what drove Matt and I to it. Matt, I think I was at that same room you started, but when I went there, you had about 16 people in the room. So I'm going to guess you were probably in your first year.
Right.
And I instantly fell in love to the brand of FIBI because of the no sales pitch philosophy. So that was really important to me. And honestly, when I started going to FIBI, that's where I started changing and evolving as an investor. Matt and I started Manhattan Beach in 2012. It was February 2012. And, we do a panel every month. So we always pick a topic. Some of my favorite panels this year, every year in October, we do a panel on kind of the state of the economy. And we've done that panel for, close to 5 years now. So it's always interesting hearing different perspectives of investors and where they see the economy going. This year we did a panel on, we did a panel on multifamily investing this past month. We did a panel on note investing. We did a panel on protecting your real estate assets, which
Right.
we carefully wrote and talked a lot about, once you build something, how do you protect it? And this year we've got some really cool panels in the first quarter. In January, we're doing a panel on, it's called the Green Opportunity, and we're going to discuss some of the maybe advantages in real estate with cannabis becoming legal in California.
Huge topic, right? Because January 1st, right? It's now going to be legal in the state of California.
Exactly right. And the way we structure our panels, we've got someone who's a full-time investor and has been doing some things in other states where cannabis has been legal.
Right.
We've got an attorney here in California that specializes in the cannabis industry. And then we've got a woman, actually Ellis through Provisors. It's someone that, Matt and I, got to meet through our Provisors group,
Right.
who is a business consultant, and she specializes in evaluating the worth of businesses, and she specializes in the vertical of cannabis companies.
Right.
So it'll be a really interesting panel talking about, where the opportunity lies, where some of the, where the risk lies, and we're excited about that panel next year.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And a shout out to all our Provisors member out there. It's really a wonderful networking group that I didn't know that. Do you belong to, Matthew?
Yeah, I joined the Cerritos group, and it's amazing. That group, you get a lot of really, really, really high quality knowledge bases in that room, from CPAs and attorneys to other professionals in their field. It's pretty interesting, and it's a great resource that we can draw off of for professionals in different aspects, which is cool.
Yeah, yeah. I've always thought that FIBI and Provisors were a very good marriage of, two different organizations. We really complement each other. I know David covered a lot about the highlights that he's had and some upcoming events for FIBI in the upcoming year. Matthew, what strikes you as in the last year, in FIBI? Anything that you think was a highlight for you, or something that of note that you want to share with the audience?
I think what I really like about FIBI in general, and this happens with all our clubs, with Orange County, with the Pasadena Club, with the South Bay, the Long Beach, your and Jeremy's clubs as well, is we have such an array of different topics and we really add a substantial amount of value to people to really give them that education. So when we have these different speakers and stuff like that, I see this being so valuable. Like, I'll bring in an attorney that'll talk about tax and legal structures and really get into the nitty gritty of the right structuring for small business owners and real estate investors. And so, we bring in someone to talk about, the tax strategies, self-directed retirement accounts and things like that, and how to strategically invest those. We talk about fixing and flipping, and the need to be able to do that, but also having the right mindset. Like, we had somebody coming in that was a business coach that knows how to structure and strategically systematize your business in different ways, but also come with the right mindset, which I think as a real estate investor, you pretty much have to have the strongest mindset on the planet because of how many ups and downs you take, and just the stuff that happens. You kind of have to laugh it off over time,
Yeah, very good point. Mindset is everything. You were going to say something, David?
Yeah, it's so true, right? You can have the best business plan in the world, but if you don't got the fortitude and just kind of the desire and the passion to really dive into it, real estate can be a business that kind of grinds you down. So mindset's such a key part of, having success in this industry.
Well said, well said. I know one of my favorite times of the year is at the end of the year and also the beginning of the year, because for me, it's always a chance to have a new beginning, to kind of retool, to set new goals, to challenge yourself, etc. Anything off the top of your head you want to share as far as some goals that you have for next year? I know both of you guys are very ambitious and very, courageous in how you run your businesses. You want to share some of your goals for 2018 with the audience?
Dave, you want to start?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, from my business, on the real estate side, we've really started looking into finding properties that people want to sell that need to be fixed up before selling them.
Right.
We think there's a big opportunity for added value. And I think just in general in the market, we really like added value. We do feel like we're somewhat at the top of the peak. Mm-hmm. So, buying assets that are, super clean and don't have a lot of added value, we think, you're at risk of, maybe looking at a loss of appreciation and value over the next couple of years. So we really like finding those kinds of properties where you can add some value, clean it up, and look to resell it, but do things quickly, kind of get in, get out. So I would say, from a, top level, highest goal priority for 2018, that's clearly on my list.
Sounds great. What specific areas of California do you specialize in, David? Do you kind of look Southern California or more regional?
Yeah, we have I'd say our band is probably like Long Beach up to Santa Monica. That's kind of our core area. And again, for us, it's more property type. It's that property, maybe it's a probate property, maybe it's a divorce, maybe someone has passed away and the families have it and are looking to sell it, or maybe, mom lived in the house for years, dad passed away, house needs a lot of work. Right. So, we'll go a little further if the inventory is right. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of South Bay is our core area, but I'd say we kind of cover, Long Beach through the west side.
Wonderful. Wonderful. How about you, Matt? You have anything you want to share with the audience about maybe some goals that you're thinking about to implement, and strategies implementing for the new year in 2018?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's interesting. I've been looking at or reading this book, Grant Cardone's 10x rule, and he talks about going for 10 times what
Wow.
you really want. And my goal for 2018 is $100,000 a month in passive cash flow. So,
Okay.
but that means I need to hit $1 million a month for some reason in order to get to 10 times that, which
Right.
may be a little more difficult to do, but I
Yeah.
just haven't figured out how to do that yet. So, but really this year we flip 10 houses a month right now. We do a lot of value add multis. We're doing a lot of private lending, and I'm looking at really expanding that aspect of things. But and we're also expanding short-term rental business as fast as we can as well, because it's really interesting and lucrative. And I can teach my son how to actually do real estate if I have a business here. Most of my stuff, as you know, is out of state in different ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, really my goal this year is to go through and systematize my business every way possible. We're using a lot of business intelligence now to come in and get all of my KPIs in one place, be able to really focus and hone in on all the systems and how to manage all these different moving parts, which is the fun part about real estate, right? Is how do you do that and delegate and do more with your time. So.
Great.
Yeah, Ellis, I think that's really important, right? Because we talked about this last night at the meeting. Real estate is there's no I in real estate, right? And the quality of people that you start to interact with will impact you as the quality of investor or real estate person you're going to be. I know Matt has done a lot, has built a really good team. We're also focused on growing and expanding. But if you expand without some kind of foundation, if you don't have a system in place, if you don't have a process on how to handle that growth, then all you create is chaos and everything crumbles down. So I know that's something I know Matt's been working on for years, and it's something that we're also looking at this year as well, is how do we grow but do it systematically.
Right. One thing I want to kind of highlight, what I liked about what Matt said earlier about his kind of 10X thing, was the power of asking the real power is in the questions you ask. So if you're asking the question about how can I make 100,000 passive a month, I mean that would choke a lot of people, right? That's a lot of, but it's asking the question and how to do it really kind of boosts your brain power into solving those bigger questions. So I think that's a really great point. It's asking bigger questions and more important questions that really transforms your business and transforms your life.
You ask better questions, you get better answers, right?
Absolutely, David. Good point. So I want to kind of circle it back to our holiday networking event that's coming up on Friday. I know I have a lot to add to that about why you should go, but David, you've been to several of these now, and you've put on a bunch of these. What do you think, if you could tell somebody what is the benefit of attending this? We have this twice a year. We have a all chapter event twice a year. Tell people out there in the audience, what is the benefit of attending one of these?
Yeah, I say whenever you come to a FIBI event, you're usually getting two things, right? You're getting education and you're getting networking, right? And that's really, we tell people, look, when you come to FIBI, really don't just sit for the speaker and then as soon as it's over, decide to run and hide. Like if you're not networking with people and meeting people, then you're missing out on a huge aspect of it. The all chapter meetings that we do, which is the one next Thursday, there really isn't any education. It's all networking.
Right.
So it's a chance to kind of just, sit around, mingle with people, go be nosy, peek your nose in different conversations, meet people, understand what they're looking for, understand what you're looking for. Ultimately real estate is a deal connection type of industry, right? It's people think of it as a property business, and it's not. It's really a people business. So it's understanding who the people are, understanding what kind of resources you have, and the better resources you have, the better quality problems you can solve, and it makes you more useful and successful in real estate. So that's really what the all chapter events are about. It's just about the networking. There's no formal presentation. It's just a chance to meet a bunch of people that we tend to attract a higher quality audience with FIBI because we're not selling anything.
Right. Matt, if you could tell somebody the importance of attending our chapter networking event, tell us a little bit about what you would tell them.
I think what's really cool is the amount of different levels of people in the room. The relationships in the room are pretty amazing. Like the different strategies that you can learn from the different people in the room at this event. The different knowledge bases and resources that are going to be there are pretty amazing. We're talking about all the different FIBI chapters coming together not only are the chapter leaders themselves full-time real estate investors, but a very large chunk of the attendees do a substantial amount of volume, and there's capital sources there, there's property sources there, there's there's attorneys and CPAs and every resource you can possibly think of, realtors that have tons of relationships, to just find those deals for you. And there's other operators there and things like that that you can invest with in different ways. So it's kind of interesting, all that power in that room that's all networking together and being able to develop those relationships, which it doesn't do anything for you if you don't follow up afterwards. But at the same time, that aspect, and we have some appetizers there too. So people can get their eat on.
There you go. There you go. I think that's really important. You point out that it gives you the opportunity to actually meet people face to face, and it's really up to you to build a deeper relationship. But that's where it all starts. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to some of the people in our audience. I see Albert Bowie was in the audience saying hello. He said, "Hey, pretty cool live webinar." A good friend of mine, Rick Harmon, the probate guy, is popped in to say hello. I want to say hi to Rick. I also want to say hi to Karen Hall. She is the owner and CEO of UDirect. If you ever need IRA, self-directed IRAs, it's a great place to go. So we've, we're going to wrap up here in a bit. This is our first kind of live chat, and so excuse us if we had a little bugs in the beginning, but I'm hoping to do this every Friday. But I hope to see everybody at the live chapter event. It is December 7th at the Long Beach Grand. And Matt, how do we, if somebody out there in the audience has never heard of FIBI, but they want to attend this chapter event, how would they be able to get access?
So all of our chapters are listed on our website at forinvestorsbyinvestors.com, or they can also go to meetup.com and type in FIBI in the search area. And they can find us there as well. They'll find all our different chapters, and it's posted on every chapter, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Great. So on the wrap up, let's see. Where do you think, I'm going to get some predictions from you guys for next year. So where do you think the real estate market in California is going to be at the end of next year? Flat, high, low, or something else?
Well, I'll go first because this is a question we asked last night. It was definitely one that everyone was interested in. Like, tell us where you see the tea leaves.
Right.
Last night, what I told people was that I'm already seeing a flattening of the market. We're already starting to see slowdown across multiple segments. So I'm predicting, if anything, it's going to be more stable to lower than where we're at right now, just because there seems to be an erosion through multiple price points here, on not just pricing, but it's also on the quality of buyer out there. It just feels like it's a different quality of buyer. A lot of higher end A+ buyers aren't as much in the market as they were, either early this year and certainly for the last couple of years.
Good to know. How about you, Matt? Any prediction for 2018?
I think it's definitely market dependent, but here in California, I tend to agree with Dave, but I'm really, really hoping for a crash, just because, flash crash, blood in the streets, we all make a ton of money, so.
Right, opportunity, right? That's
you make so much more money when there's a giant crash like that. If I would have known that during the last crash, I would literally have bought like 1 billion houses right when the crash happened.
Right. Matt, you probably have $1 million in cash flow had you done it right in 2000.
Yeah, rub it in, Dave.
And instead, you wasted all your time running a real estate investment club. Well done.
Hey, I had to raise capital in different ways. So,
that's right.
That was really resourceful at that time. When you need to raise capital, it all comes down to relationships. So.
Right. Yeah, my prediction is that we'll be flat to maybe slightly higher. I don't know for sure, because what I think, as long as we have an economy that has low interest rates and the assumption that there'll be less regulation, there'll be more deregulation, I think that's going to continue to buoy the market. But we'll see, right? We'll come back again next year this time, and we'll find out how close we were. I want to thank, let's wrap it up, but I want to thank both of you, the co-partners of FIBI. We're missing Jeremy Earl. Jeremy, if you're out there, we say hi, we miss you. But we have David Coe, Matthew Owens, and myself, Ellis San Jose, the host of FIBI Live Chat. Hoping to do this every Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific. If you want to connect with us and let us know what we're doing, or if you want to be a guest on the show, why don't you go ahead and follow me on Twitter, and you can find me at FIBI USA, and let us know you're out there, and hopefully we'll see you again. So hope you guys have a great weekend, and thanks so much for joining us. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Good book. All right, stop.